Hello everybody, Melanie here and welcome back to the channel. Right, today I am giving you some book recommendations. If you want to learn more about narcissism, like actually understand what narcissism means, what narcissistic personality disorder is about, what BPD is all about, to really understand cluster B personality disorders, I have three psychiatrists that I'd like to recommend to you. So this is just going to be a short video. I'm not going to get into what the books are about. I would like to do separate videos on these books. For now, I just wanted to literally just say which books I recommend so that you can go out and buy the books yourself. So the first book I'd like to recommend is this one. This is my favorite author on the subject, Jacoby, Individuation and Narcissism. I think it's such an important book to read. I bought this back in 2007, so I'm not sure if this particular edition is still available. If you're not familiar with reading Jungian psychologists and depth psychology, it might be a little bit hard to read, but I think actually it's quite an easy read, personally. What I really like about this book, not only is it just so well written, minus the translation errors because the author is German. What I like about it is the concept of narcissism being a spectrum, and that either end is unhealthy narcissism. And he talks about the myth of Echo and Narcissus, which represents these two extreme poles of the spectrum of narcissism, and how this is unhealthy narcissism. So I'll leave it with that with this book. I will be making my own personal video talking more about Echo and Narcissus, and how they are two different sides of the same coin. For now, I recommend this book, highly recommend it. Second book that I recommend, Otto Kernberg, fantastic, again, another fantastic doctor. This book is more textbooky in how it's laid out compared to Jacoby's book. So the part one, they're talking about borderline personality organization. Then they're talking about part two, the narcissistic personality. So I really, really recommend this if you actually really want to understand BPD and narcissism. Otto Kernberg, Jacoby, okay? Don't be on websites like Psychology Today and learn from like actual experts in this field, okay? And one final person I want to recommend, I don't have his book on paperback, I've got it on Kindle, Dr. Sam Vaknin. He knows what he's saying, he really knows what he's talking about. And the good thing about Sam as well is that he's got a YouTube channel. So if you don't want to read books, you can just go onto his YouTube channel and watch his videos. His videos are based on the content of his books. And finally, one book that I want to recommend, it's not specifically to do with cluster B personality disorders, but it's called The Primal Wound. Highly recommend it if, whether you've dated someone dysfunctional, whether you yourself are dysfunctional, you know what, all of us who have been traumatized have experienced the primal wound. And I'm not going to tell you what it is, read it. It's written by people who train in psychosynthesis, which is what I trained in. And it's a really, really good read because it takes from different perspectives of how trauma messes us up from different fields of psychology. And then it talks about the psychosynthesis perspective on trauma and healing. And it's a sympathetic book, you can say. This is the kind of book where you can give this to your dysfunctional partner or friend, and they can read it and not feel like it's a personal attack. You get me? I get a lot of people who are saying, I want to tell my partner that maybe they might be personality disordered. You know, if you give them something like this, or God, even worse, this, you know, they might get a bit offended. So read that for yourself, read this together. So I'll leave it there. If you've got any suggestions, if there's a book that you think that I should be recommending or I should be reading, get in touch. I love it when people get in touch to recommend me stuff. And I just love hearing from people who support and watch my channel. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. If you want me to elaborate about any of these particular books, I will happily do videos on them. I will be in the future, in particular with these two books, be making videos specifically talking about these books. But I've got a whole list of video requests from people emailing me, so I'm going to address those first. Eventually I will make videos on this. In the meanwhile, I highly recommend that you read them. I'll leave it there. All right, have a lovely day and bye for now.